Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we will going to see how we can connect on-premises database, that is SQL Server, with the help of Azure Data Factory and get the data. Okay. So in this, what we will do is we will use a security key vault. Okay. So why we will use that? Basically, in Azure database is provide us, some of the security for user ID and password. So whatever user ID and password we will going to use in SQL Server, that we will keep it secret in Azure database. So how we will do that? Let's focus on this. So if I open my diagram, that we were following. Okay, so if you see, this is the diagram that we were following, and now what we are trying to do over here is we want to connect Azure Data Factory to on-premises SQL. Okay. So how can we achieve that? So what we need to do is, since we have already set up Azure Data Factory in Microsoft Azure. So what we need to do is, first we need to go to resources. Okay. So where is our resources group? If you see here we have here we have resources group, right? So under that we have created a resources group DMP Tech, right? And then we will go to DMP Tech Data Factory. Okay. We can launch the data factory from here, like launch studio. I'll just click. So this is an interface of data factory, when you will launch data factory from Microsoft Azure. So this will be an interface. It will look like, okay. So meanwhile, what we can do is maybe we can create, the logins and user ID, in SQL, because what we wanted to do, when we will going to connect SQL to data factory, it has to be connected through some password and user ID, right? So we need to create that user ID and password in SQL. Okay. So I have already logged in my SQL Server Management Studio here, and now I will just launch the query canvas here, right? So here I can just create one login. Okay. So before that, I would like to highlight, before we do that, we need to check whether we have, SQL Server Configuration Manager running, How can we do that? So it's very simple. Just type SQL in your, the start over here. So SQL Server 2020 Configuration Manager. Just click over here. Okay. Yeah. So here, like, you have to see that whether the SQL server is running or not. If in case it is like stopped or something like that, we need to run this. So how can we run this? We can just right click over here and we can start, right? We can start from here, but since it is already running, no need to do any action over here, so I'll close it. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll create a login. Oh no, so maybe the syntax I will write: create create login. I can just put a name of maybe ch, okay, with password. So I can keep any password. Maybe let's say I'll keep 23456. Okay. Let's say 78. Okay. So this is my password. Now I'll create user. I'll create a user here. Ch. Okay. For login, ch. Okay. So now here I need to select the proper database. So here I need to want to create an adventure works. Okay. So if I execute this, incorrect syntax. Okay, so it is saying incorrect syntax. What happened over here? Let me see. Okay, because I have not put that equal to. It should be fine now. Okay, so now it is successfully run. So we have successfully created ch and the login ch. If you want to see that, how can you see that? Just refresh your database, SQL Server here. We can go to security. We can go to login, and we can see the CH is created. Okay. And here, so now we have successfully created a user and password for this one. Now we will move and I can just search Key Vault. Okay. So if I search Key Vault, I need to go inside. I have already created a Key Vault, the empty tag Key Vault. I'll go inside this. Okay. And here I need to go to object. I need to create a secrets over here. Okay. So like this will be an RBCA, that is a role based account control, because we need to first create a role here, and role will be our ability to create a key. Okay. So if you see here, the operation is not allowed by the RBCA, that is a role based access control. If the role assignment were recently changed, okay. So it will not allow us to, I think it will not allow us to create this one. Let's see. Username. Okay. The username is CH. Okay. CH. And if I try to create that, see, it is saying that an error occurred while creating a secret user. So in order to resolve this, what we need to do is we need to create a role first. Okay. How can we do that? Go to access control, IAM over here. Okay. And here you can just click on add, and you can click on add role assignment. Okay. So first we need to give the administrative key vault access, right? So that's what it is saying. Key vault administration, right? So if we see that key vault administration, right? Yeah. So we need to select key vault administrator, that is perform all the data, this one. Okay. And then we'll click on next. And then we need to select the user group and service principal. Okay. And we can just select the members here. So right now, I'll assign it to me only. I'll select that and I'll click on next. Okay. So now it is assigned to me. Review and assigned. Okay. It's very simple to create a role here. Okay. So now the role is successfully created. We will again come to secrets here. Okay. I'll click on generate import. Here we can just put username, right? The username secrets is CH, right? The CH is username, and we can click on create. Now it should successfully created. Okay, so you can see the username is successfully created. Now the same thing we'll do it for password also. So password, the password was 2345678. Okay, I kept it simple, but in your case, you can put a complex password so that no one can crack it. Okay, I'll click on create. Okay, now you can see that the user and password is created in Key Vault. Okay, now I'll let you know how we can use that. Okay, now let's jump back to Data Factory here. Okay. Okay, guys. So this is the interface, to create a pipeline. But before that, right? So you remember we have created a user, right? Over here, right? User in SSMS, right? The SQL Server, right? So we need to provide them the select table access or insert table access, delete table access. Otherwise, we will not be able to, get any data out of this. Okay. What I mean to say, for example, if I disconnect this and if I connect this server again, and here if I select, okay, this I have selected server name, right? I'll put Microsoft Access, and here if I select CH and if I put password, okay, click on connect here. Okay, now you can see my server is changed to CS. Okay, and if I go here and if I see, that I have adventure data space access here, and if I want to see the table, okay, so I don't have any table access over here. Okay, so if I go in Data Factory and try to pull the data, right, from this particular login, the CH, I will not get anything because I don't have any table map to this. So what I can do is I can go to my main server, and from there I can provide the access to the tables that I have. Okay. So I'll just disconnect this. I'll connect it again. I'll select my server. Maybe I'll go back to window. Okay. And I'll connect here. Okay. So here you can see that I have adventure data space, and in the table I have access of all these tables, right? Like build version, error log, sales T address. Okay. So I have a access of all this, but I don't have a access in this login that I have created. So I need to provide that access over here. So how can I do that? So maybe I can just write a syntax over here first, like grant select, okay, on your schema name. What is your schema? That is sales sales LT, right? The schema name you will get it over here, the sales LT before dot, and this is a table name, okay? And then we'll put address. Okay, so what I can do is maybe I can just write this syntax, grant select on sales. This is my schema name, this is my table name, and this is one. So if I execute this, you can see this is completed. Okay, the select access I have given. Maybe I can just give insert and update also. So I'll just copy paste the syntax. Okay, here. And here I can just, instead of select, I'll write insert. Okay, I'll again copy paste the syntax. Instead of select, I will write update. Okay, and I'll just write delete. So whatever access you want to give, you can give it over here. But now I'm just giving all the access that I have. Right? Delete access. So if I execute all this, you can see everything is done. Okay. Now if I disconnect and connect my server again, okay. Here I can, sorry, I can just click on this. User is this. Password we know that 2345678. If I click on connect, if I go to my dashboard, in Adventure Database, you can see now I should have, this table access. So I have this table access now. And what we will do is for the sample purpose, we will use this table in Data Factory. Okay. So now this is done for us. Now let's move on to Data Factory. Again, maybe we can build one pipeline in Data Factory. Okay. So here, if I explain you, this interface, basically we have home tab over here. This is looks like this. Okay. And here we have author. So in the author, basically we have different options that we have. And here it's a monitor. Whatever task you will execute, you can monitor over here. Okay. And then you have a manage over here, right? So these are the link services that we can create it over here. These are the learning center basically to in order to learn this data factory. But for now, let's focus on the pipeline that we have. Okay. So I'll click on the pipeline first, and maybe I'll click on this triple dot here, and I will just click on the new pipeline, right? So the moment I click on the new pipeline, so you can see these are the options that came in front of us. And now what we can select is we can select the pipeline, so pipeline, I think the name is already populated over here. We can change the name if you want. So what we can do is pipe, we can keep copy data, maybe copy data. Okay. So we have provided a name over here, copy data. Now here we have, if I click over here, you can see we have two options, copy data and data flow. What I will do, I will select the copy data here. So here now we have started developing the things, that we want. So copy data means we want to copy the data from the SQL server, right? So as we know that the Azure Data Factory, we are using it to get the data from, on premises, that is SQL server, to the cloud one. So this is the connector. This is a bridge between these two. Okay. Okay, so here if you see below, we have a few of the options over here, right? The source, sync, mapping, and all those. So we will going to focus on that. The source means the SQL data, right? So for us, the source is SQL Server, right? Because we want to grab the data from SQL Server. Okay. And sync means to push it in the data lake. Okay. Sync means to push it in the data lake. So that is what our objective over here is, right? So now let's focus on the source one. Here you can see we don't have any option over here. So I'll click on new. Okay. And for source, as we know that the SQL server that we have a source. So I'll just click on SQL over here and I'll just select this option SQL server and I can click on continue. Okay. Now, we have clicked this. We can rename this, if you want. Maybe I'll put SQL server source, right? Like this. Anything that you wish to. And here we need to create a link, right? So link services means if you want some data from any of the other application, right? We have to link that. Otherwise, how system will know from where we have to collect, right? So we need to link that. So to whom we will link? We will link to SQL server. Okay. So how we will do that? Let's click on the new over here. Okay. And here we have SQL server, right? Link services. So I'll put services, link services. Okay. Any name that you can give, description if you want, you can write it. So auto resolve integration runtime. So this option is coming automatically. So what this option is basically, this option we will use when we want to transfer the data within Azure, Microsoft Azure. It means we don't have to go outside of Microsoft Azure. So in that case, we will use it. For example, from Data Factory to Synapse, if we want to load data from Data Factory to Synapse, then we will use this option. But in our case, we have to use we have to use some other option because we want to grab a data from other application, that is SQL server. So how we can do that? We need to create that one. Okay. So here we can just click on new. Okay. And here we have a self-hosted, okay, on premises. If you read this, use this for the running the activity on the on-premise. On-premise means SQL server for us. So I'll select this option and I'll click on continue. Okay, something like SQL server. You can give any name that you want. So I'll just put SQL server here. Okay, and it is self-hosted selected. I'll click on create. Okay. Now here you can see two options, express setup and the manual setup. Right now we'll go for express setup. As in, once we click on this, the link over here, what it will do is it will going to download the Microsoft integration runtime services. And then once it is installed and downloaded to your system, you will be able to, get the data from MS, SQL. So let me click on this one. You can see this file is now downloaded. I'll click on open over here. Okay, now the configuration is being loading. Now you can see it is downloading. This will take a little while. Yeah, now integration runtime self-hosted express setup is successfully done. You can see on my screen. What I will do is I'll close this one. Okay, so this is done. Let's close it. Okay, so now you can see the green tick is come, right? So it means that it is successfully done. Okay. Now, here we have to give the server name, database name, all this type of information from SQL Server, SSMS. So I'll go to my SSMS over here. Okay. In order to get a server information, what you can do is you can just right click on properties and you will get your server information here. Okay. So I'll just copy this and I'll come to my here. I'll just put this information. I need to give a database name. So my database name is this one. I can right click, rename this, copy, and I can come here and paste here. Okay. Now here I'll select SQL authentication and I need to provide username here. So my username is what I remember is ch, right? Okay, now here we have a two option. Either we can just write the password, but we have to go through Azure Key Vault. Okay, if you remember, we have created a Azure Key Vault, right? So if I click here, you can see there's no option here for Azure Key Vault. What we need to do is we need to create a new one. The moment I click on the new, you can see over here we have this one. So the name I'll keep it as it is. Okay, from Azure subscription. So we have a subscription, right? DMP Tech. I'll select this key vault name, maybe DMP Tech Key Vault, right? This we have created. Authentication method, we will keep, the system assigned manageable identity, and I'll click on create. Okay, so it is saying it will be created. Let's see if we are getting, I think we will get a issue. Yeah, so now it is failed. Let's see why it is failed because I think we have to assign the role, right? In the secrets, right? So what we can do is maybe we can go to keyword section and we need to assign some role. Okay, so I'll go to keyword here. So I think we are already in the keyword. If we go to IAM, you remember we have to for assigning any role we have to go here. I need to click on add a role assignment here. Okay, here I need to in order to get the user access, right? So we need a Key Vault secret user, right? Because we want to apply the secret user, right? So I'll select this one, the Key Vault secret user here. Okay, because the Key Vault administration, we already have that access, but we need a user access also, right? I will select this. I'll click on next. I'll select the group user and service principal, right? So this is selected, but I need to select, the manage identity. Okay, here, and I'll click on select members. Here, what I can do in manage identity, I can select, data factory because I need, to use this in the data factory. And here I can select, the data factory that I have, right? V2. Let me see which one we are using here. DMP Tech DF. We are using a DMP Tech DF here, right? So DMP Tech DF, right? Let me assign both of them and I'll click on select. Okay. So this two user is now done. Okay. No, sorry. This is the different data factory that we have, but this is the R, DMP Tech DF. Okay. Now we have selected this. Maybe I can just click on review and assign here. Okay. So two role are being added to the keyword secret. You can see. Okay. I think it's done successfully. It is done. Now I'll come here. Maybe I can just refresh this. Yes. Now you can see it is showing you the user ID and password here. We'll select password here, right? Okay. And then everything will be, I think, automatically selected. This done. Here, encryption model should be mandatory, right? I think this should be marked as yes. Let me test the connection. Yeah, so you can see the connection is successful. So you must be wondering why I have checked the trust certification tick. If you go to SSMS, if I disconnect this and if I connect here over here, so you can see encryption method here we have selected mandatory and trust server certificate we have selected. And then if you okay, sorry. So here basically, okay, we need to give a password, right? 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Right? This is our password. If I connect this, you can see this is connecting. The same thing we have here, the trust server certificate, and here we are selecting the mandatory. Okay. Test connection is successful. Let's click on create. Okay. Now it is created, I believe. Now here we can select the table, So right now we have only one table under that particular role, and the user. If I go here and if I show you in the ch database, if I go to database table, right? If I expand here in adventure, we gave the table name, sorry, the database name. If you go to the table, we only have the sales LT address, right? So this is what it is getting showing it over here. So I will select this one, this table, basically. I'll click on OK. Okay. The moment I click on OK, okay. So here now you can see the source data set is selected over here, and table, everything is over here, right? We don't have to change anything over here now. Let's go to the next one, that is a sync. Okay. So if you select the sync here, it is giving the source, whatever we have created for source, it is giving that drop down, but we don't want that, right? Because that is for source. In the sync, we need to create the another new connection, right? So we need to transfer everything to data lake, right? So if I go to my diagram, here you can see, we are using a Azure Data Factory to pull the data from, SQL on-prem, and we want to transfer this to Azure Data Lake. Okay, and then we have a container bronze, right? So Azure Factory is helping us to pull the data from on-premises to being transferred to the Azure Data Lake, right? So now we have to sync Azure Data Lake here. So in the sync, if I go here, I have on-prem. I'll select the new. Here I can put data lake. So data, just put data, and you will get a data lake option here. So which one is data lake? I think this one, the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. If you click on continue, here it is giving you a few options. We need Parquet, right? So Parquet we have selected. Now here we can give the name Parquet file. So what name we can provide? Where maybe we can provide uh, some name to this, right? What name you feel would be better? So let's put the sync only, okay? So sync, Park sync. Now here we can, link services. We need to click on new, right? So if you notice, right, here we are not transferring it from some outside of application, right? So here we want once we get the data, right? Uh, it is internal to Azure, right? We are getting the data, but we are not, you know, uh, pulling it from the SQL on-prem, right? So here we will select this option only, as I said, and then here we can use maybe account key only, right? We'll keep this option. Here we need to select the subscription, that is DMP tech. Here we can select the storage account. So storage account is nothing but your data lake, that we have created. So if I come here, this one, that's your data lake that we have. So in the storage, what we can do is we have DMP Tech SG means storage. So we'll select this one. Okay. Then we'll test the connection first. Yeah. So now the connection is successful. I'll click on create. Okay. Now this link services is successfully connected. Now we have to, as I said, if you go to diagram, as in Azure Data Lake, we will transferring the data to the one of the container that is bronze, right? So now we have to give the bronze container over here. So what I can do is maybe I can select bronze here, bronze, right? Uh, if you are not sure of the spelling of this, what you can do, you can go to your resources group and you can check what storage you have created. So if I go to my DMP Tech resources group, here we have the storage account. Where is the storage? Okay, so this is my storage account. If I go inside of this, right? If I go to container, you can see we have a bronze here. So I'll just select the bronze. Okay, so I'll go to Data Factory. I select bronze here. Okay, just keep it as it is. and I'll click on OK. Okay. Now my Parky file is created over here. And now this is done. Okay. Now if I click on, I think all the setup is done for now. So if I click on debug, so what is a debug? Basically, just to test, whatever we have set up is everything is correct or not. Okay. So I'll just click debug right now. Let's see what is happening. Okay. Now it is in queued. What we can do is we can check the detail over here. If you click on this icon, right? So these are the details, that we are getting it. I'll close it. And here it is the input, right? So if you click input, you can see here some JSON code is written, right? Yeah. So now if you see the activity is success, okay. So wow, this is good. Now what we can do is we can check in the storage, right? If you want to check this output, how we can do that? Basically, our flow is to pull the data from SQL server and check if we have the data successfully created in the storage, right? So here I am in the storage account, right? DMP storage. If I click browse here, right? So now you can see the sales LT file address is successfully created in the form of Parquet format, right? So I think the pipeline that we have set up is successfully done. So as of now, we have just done the testing, whether the connection is properly set up or everything is good or not, right? So this is just a sample test that we have done, but this is not our objective here. Our objective is to get all the tables that we have, in that particular SQL, everything to be loaded over here on a daily basis. It should be auto load, and we don't have to pitch in, and we don't have to do any manual task, right? So now we can delete this file as this is only for the testing. We will bring all the table information here from bronze folder. For that, we need to get a list of all the table, right? So we need to build a flow in a such a way when the new table added, it should automatically pick up all the detail from the new table. Okay. So what we can do is let's build that flow. Okay. So now we will going to build the new pipeline to get all the table names and the schema names from the SQL server, get all the information from that table and paste it to the bronze table. Okay. So this is what our objective is. So for example, if you see my SSMS, here we have a 10 table which regard to sales LT. Okay. So what I did in the CH login, I have given a granted a permission for all these 10 tables. Now the objective is to get these tables into the Azure Data Lake. So how can we do that? So let's build a pipeline for that. Okay. So here we have a pipeline. So I'll go to author pipeline and I'll build a new pipeline for this. Okay. So just click on new pipeline. Okay. So, in order to get all the 10 tables, what we need to do is we need to look up, right? We need to look up this one. So, if I go to my SSMS here, okay, and if I just run this script, so this script is basically to get the schema name and the table name in this particular database as your Adventure workspace. So, if I run this script, you can see that we have a schema name and the table name here. Now, what we wanted to do is we will pull this information to uh, Data Factory right here. So in order to do that, we need to use a lookup function here. Okay. So I'll just drag the lookup function here. Now here we see we have a setting over here. So there's no SQL on-prem. I think it is gone now. So what I can do is maybe I need to create a new connection for that. So SQL server here. Okay. I'll click on continue. Maybe I'll just name this as on-prem. On-prem. Okay. Here I can just select SQL Server link services. This is already selected. Here, I will not select any table because if I give any table name, maybe it will just pull the information for that particular table. But we want all the table information, so I'll keep it blank over here. Okay. Now I'll click on OK here. So this is done. Now we have successfully connected to SQL Server. Now here we have an option, the use query, whether the table, a query, or store procedure. So we want to use a query here. So I'll just take the query, and what I will do is I'll just copy paste this syntax. Okay. So this is my syntax. So if I copy and paste here, okay, this is done. Let me click debug. Sorry, let me click debug. Let's see what will happen. Yeah, so now my debug is successful. Okay, but here we can just provide a name of this lookup, right? I'll just put copy all table. Okay, sorry, copy all table. Okay, so this is the name I have provided over here. This is success. So here I can see the input. If I put your cursor here, you can see this is input. So this is a query that we have provided through the query. And if I show you the output here, okay, so okay, I got it. So it is just showing me the first row right now. Okay. If I go to setting, sorry, not a setting. If I click here, okay. And in the first row option, maybe I need to uncheck this one. Okay. And then if I click on debug, okay, now my debug is successful. So what I can do, maybe I can just check the output directly. Yes. So if you see over here, we have total 13 over here, right? So we have all the tables and the schema name over here. Okay. I think that is what we wanted. Okay. Now, as a next step, what we can do is we can create for each loop, right? Because now we got the output. Now we wanted to loop through each, right? So how can we do that? So let me go to for each loop, right? So I'll just drag this to here. Okay. And I need to connect to this one. Okay. So this is connected now. What I can do is maybe I need to edit this, right? Because I need to write a logic under that, right? So I'll just click on edit over here, right? And then what we can do is basically we can bring the copy data here, right? So I'll just bring the copy data here. Okay. I can come to source here. Source, I need to select SQL Server on-prem. Here I need to select query. And in the query, right, since the output from the lookup, right, we are getting the list of table name and the schema name, right? So what we can do is we can concatenate the fixed text, right, the select star from, and then we can just give a schema name and the table name that is coming from the lookup value. Okay. So what I can do is maybe I can just show you the syntax that we want to use. So here is the syntax that wanted to use. Maybe click on add here. I'll show you. So here we are concatenating this hardcode value, right? The select star from, and item name schema name means it is coming through the the lookup value, and the table name is coming through the lookup value. So if I click OK, you can see this is now done. Okay, so this is done. Now what we can do, we can just come here to the sync, right? We can come to sync, and here we need to select the Parquet sync, right? Okay, so here we have selected this. We wanted to open it because now we need to open this, right? We wanted to open this because we want the data to be saved in the schema name table name like the flow would be. It will save the data in bronze table. Under that, the schema name and the table name has to be there. Okay, so what we wanted to achieve, right? Just so I will explain you. So if I go to my bronze table, right? So we have like the 10 table in one particular schema. Okay, I mean to say the sales LT is a schema name, and address customer address, product, all these are our table name. Okay, so what I want is I want a folder to be created in my storage as under the bronze, it should create a schema name table. Okay, the folder that we say, the schema name, and under that, we want a table names. Okay, table names folder. So like if you have a sales address, the one folder should be created for that, another folder for the product, and so on and so forth. So like that, we want the information. So what we can do is maybe we can set up that folder in in the setting only, right? So we have selected the Parquet over here. Now we can just open it, click on the open. It will take me to this tab, the new tab will be open. Okay. And here what we can do is I can just cancel this, right? As I said, I need to create the folder, right? So in the edit, once I'm here, what I can do, I can come to parameter. I need to add two parameter. Okay. So one is schema name, right? So I'll just put schema name. Okay. And here I can just put table, table name. Okay. So these are this would be the string. Okay. So this is done now. I can come here and I can come over here. So you can see the schema name and the table name parameter has been created. Now I need to write some formula here to bring that, right? So what I can do that, maybe I can just write some function under that. So under this, right, the schema name, I can just click on add dynamic content. And here I can just write at the rate item, okay, dot schema name, schema name, okay. I'll click on OK. Similar thing, I need to write it over here. So at the rate item, right, dot table name, okay, table name, and click on OK. Okay, it's done. Now we have to go to the directory, right? So if I open it again, okay, so in the directory, I need to write this code. Okay. So what code we need to write? We need to write that we need to concatenate dataset schema name and dataset table name, the parameter that we have created. Okay. I'll click on OK here. So this is done. Now we need to do it same for file name also, right? So what I can do, maybe I can come to file name, add dynamic content, this here, and here table name instead of concatenate dataset dot table name. Okay, so here maybe after dataset I need to remove this. Okay, so here maybe I need to remove this also. Dataset table, and here I need to give Parquet file, right? So okay, so dot Parquet I need this dot Parquet. Here I can add this. Okay, so this is my syntax. I'll click on OK. So now we are sorted with this. Okay, directory, it will come here and it will come like this. Now we'll go back to main canvas here. Okay, so now we are sorted with the sync data set. This is done. This is done. Okay, I'll come to copy all table here. Right. So in the setting here we need to provide some of the output, right? So I can just add it maybe this syntax. I need to add a syntax like at the rate activity, at the rate activity, right? And then I need lookup one. Okay. Right lookup one dot output. Okay. Output that value. Okay. So we need this like at the activity lookup one dot output dot value. So we don't need this one. Okay. I'll click on OK. So here exactly what I'm trying to get, whatever Outlook one is providing output, we are just giving that input over here. Okay. So this is done now. What we can do, maybe we can click on debug to see if we are getting everything. Okay, so I got the issue. The flow was failing, right? Flow was failing. If I come to this, here, you can see my flow is failing. Sorry, if I go here, copy all table. Okay, so if I go inside this, right? So in my syntax over here, right? So after the from, right, I need to provide some space. Okay. So previously there was a no space. Right now, if I put a space here and if I click on OK, then I think it should work fine now. So if I go here and if I come here and if I click on debug, let's see what will happen. Okay, so now you can see the flow is getting success. Okay, so I'll just let you know what was happened, right? Why I was getting an issue. So I was getting an issue because there was a syntax issue, over here. Okay, so now I have pasted the correct syntax over here. So select star from, then I have provided a space over here and the item dot schema name and then item dot table name. If I click OK here and if I go to table here, you can see now it is getting success, right? So I think it will take few seconds to get completed. Meanwhile, what we can do is we can check in the bronze folder, whether the output is coming or not. So if I refresh this, okay. Yeah. Under that, you can see there are folders with the table name is creating. Okay. So that is what we have created a parameter so that we can bring, the separate folder for the separate table. Okay. So you can see this is the customer table with parky, parky type. Okay. So whatever we have built, I think it is getting success. If I refresh this, okay. So now it is getting it. Maybe it will take few seconds. Okay. So now our objective is successful. Now we are able to bring all the information from the SQL server. Okay. So that is our first objective. Now in the next video, what we will going to do is, uh, now we have all the data over here. So we will transform this data, okay, with the help of Databricks, and then we will load that to Synapse, right? So in the after the Synapse, we will load everything to the Power BI and we will create a beautiful dashboard for that. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit a like button and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you so much.